All right, hello, hello, hello. Here, do that. Let's do this. Who was it yesterday? It is Debbie. Bam, there we go. All right, so that is done quick. Sounds good. Thank you. All right, so first number we got this morning already: non-farm employment change. Nice. Again, nice. What, by 150,000? Basically double, right? Basically double what the expectation was. The dollar thus far is not reacting too much of it because everybody's looking at this thing right now, right? A number of different kind of comments in the overnight. The Fed's raising, then what? Right? That's the big question we get. The Fed is raising, then what? Right? So, yeah. Services coming in just in a little bit, unless that's below 50. I don't see that changing much. But seeing that data, I don't think there's any doubt. And again, I do think it comes in at 5.25. But the big question is, what are they going to say? Right? Between the statement and then the dissection and the questions here is the big call. Now, couple big things too moving right now. Again, we talked about the yen being really, really high in the curve, looking for short positions. Again, trying to find the top was a little bit difficult. But for the most part, what we mentioned yesterday was pound yen. Again, you can see it's down 200 right now. Massive movement there. Is it all pound? Not really, right? Because the euro pound is actually up. The pound is a little bit weaker, but still 200. And then again, dollar yen, same thing. So it is a yen situation. We talked about it being high. We mentioned that, hey, there's probably going to be an intervention. I don't see anything over here that says there was an official intervention. But again, the price coming back, it's definitely it's dropping, right? And it's funny, the return to 138. Everybody's talking about that. There's another one. Where is it? I don't know. It's one of these articles. They're like, oh, careful. It's a 138. We're waiting for support and resistance. I can't even. I don't even know where it is. It was one of the news. It was one of the news stories. I guess it has been kicked off, but it came out like an hour ago, 2 hours ago, and I clicked on it, and it's like, oh, well, the stochastics and this and that, and support and resistance is here, here, here. Well, all the support has been actually broken through. So I'm like, yeah, I guess your call is, yeah, yeah. I guess there was two drones attempting to attack the Kremlin. Great. It's a yeah, great first step, right? In peace. Terrorist act and military. Yeah, yeah. And again, maybe not Ukraine, maybe some crazies in Ukraine because everybody's got a drone these days. So yeah, that's fun. But anyway, that's what we got so far. This is this is one of those things we don't want to see. Food inflation. Ugh, we don't want food inflation again. Stuff is already too expensive over there. But yeah, so we have bang, bang, bang coming in short order here with services. Then we got about an hour, 2 hour lull, and then we have the FOMC statement. And all eyes, all talk, everything is literally going to be focused on nothing but Fed funds and the FOMC statement. So yeah, whew, with that, is anything else really moving crazy? You're seeing the euro dollar go up, and again in preparation for the news to come out, maybe. little bit here. Dollar Swiss, again, you can see that we're seeing dollar weakness coming there. Dollar CAD, it's basically flat. Aussie dollar, basically flat. Um, so, is there the telltale? Eh, excuse me. In the European session, a little bit, right? The euro, again, I think this article probably has something to it, right? The euro is rallying ahead of time, right? But we're seeing it. We're over here seeing it over here as well. And then same thing, Swiss also rallying. And again, is it really these two rallying, or is it just the dollar kind of weakening before that news for a good pop? And I think the chances of them going 5.25 and then doing 5.25 again is pretty likely. Um, again, it's the question is how. Yes, will it work at this higher rates? Yes. How long do you want it to take to get there? I think is the big question. And we heard some of that yesterday with the euro. So, yeah, so this is what we got. Again, like that's not enough tomorrow morning. The euro is expected to raise as well, 0.25. So again, a whole nother set of kind of comments and things that we need to decipher, right? Coming in tomorrow morning at 8:15. So again, excuse me. It was a long night. It was a long night. Are you already asleep, kid? Are you sleeping already? He fell asleep in the middle of chart school yesterday. So like, I don't know, 10 o'clock. He slept for almost 3 hours. And then last night, every time I moved, he just moved every 10 minutes. It was rough. He was up at like 10 o'clock last night, still jacked, wide awake. Melissa gave him a cupcake at like 6:30. I was like, way to go. I was like, I don't know what's in that cupcake, but no more. So yeah, a lot more stuff coming in, and then again, unemployment claims coming in. Also, we'll see if that is flat. All this in the next 24 hours. All right. Ooh, excuse me. One race here, and you can see how far behind the euro is. But again, doing things a little bit slower pace. So fun, fun, fun. The VIX. Okay. So yesterday, huge spike up, and then we retrace back down again to kind of end somewhat in the middle, a little bit on the lower side, right? And then we just flatline. So nothing really in the overnight, which again, typically with it as big as today is, you would expect to see a little bit more than that. Um, so yeah, you expect to see more. Not much else, starting to raise a little bit. And again, I think everybody will be a little bit concerned what's happening, right? The dollar. Is there a lot of movement? No. Really, since yesterday, right? We just started to see deterioration of the dollar kind of coming back down to that 101.60 mark. And again, a lot of times we talk about the pre-market movement. We're seeing this drop down. Again, it is pulling back to a 61.8. There are obviously buyers over here that we're running into right now. And the question is this loaded up for a nice pop higher? Them doing 0.25 and then saying, yep, we have at least one more 0.25. And, we plan to do a 0.25 and we'll reevaluate what happens in the next month, right? I think that could be one of the big catalysts. And again, it's a big level that we're going back to. Indices right now split. YM down a little bit. Everything else up just a little bit. And I'm wondering too, is this that pre FOMC kind of positioning? What? What? It's just a nail clipper. Jeez. It's just a nail clipper. You're fine. I'll wait till you go to sleep and then I'll do it. He sees a nail clipper and he's like, "Oh no, not that." So I think again, whatever we see right here at the opening, I think a lot of this is going to get scrambled. And that data, I mean, the unemployment data was great. The data today, I mean, this is a great number. It's double, right? The employment change is double what we saw, or what the expectation is. So that's awesome news. Again, leading this, things should be in the green a little bit. Oil getting hammered. We're below 70. We talked about 71.50 being the target yesterday, and now 24 hours later, we're down at 69.25 or 29, down 3%, $2.37. Again, the overhang of again, I'll say it's the Chinese demand story, much lower than natural gas. Also down. Excuse me. I swear it's regular coffee, but it's not working today. Down 2.7%, down to 215 again, seeing that continue to deteriorate. We talked about that coming further. Now, gold is up just slightly, and silver is down slightly. So they're both kind of like, oh God, what do we do? 218, I think, is again a bit high. With that raise, we know they're going to go farther. I think if they say 0.25 and then we're going to have another 0.25, I think a lot of people are convinced that they're going to do this 0.25 and then they're going to stop. Although the data is still showing that we can go further than that. I think if the market hears that, I think gold just completely tumbles. And then again, silver will follow. But right now, where they are, again, gold is up just a smidge, looking like it's ticking down, and then silver starting to accelerate a little bit in preparation for what we have today. So, yeah, those are again, these two are going to be quite volatile. Look for this. I really believe that there'll be a little bit of a surprise component to this one, but I do think that it is a short trade today, both gold and silver. Now looking at the Aussie, okay, we had a Harry Potter here. We talked about a target kind of coming in at this old level. We didn't know exactly where it was. We just kind of drew it, kind of like guesstimated where it would be. Um, the reality is we don't really have an entry. Like the most near term is kind of there, right? And again, pierced, nothing. This is not an entry, and this is not an entry. So I'm going to take it off. It's just one of those ones that we were calling for a short trade, but right now there's not a lot in there. We are getting the basing, but it's quite, again, it's kind of volatile basing, right? It keeps kind of expanding, and it's kind of ticking down a little bit, but again, it peaks its head and pops right back up again. Um, the profit target from yesterday was hit to the downside. I still think, you know what? Actually, just pull this here. Looking at that, 66.35 to the downside. Um, eh, that's the best we got right now. Um, trying to look at this, and again, we know there's selling in here. Maybe something along those lines, right? Is about the only thing you could have done, and that was a 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30 ish. Um, it's all right. It's all right. Um, anything lined up? Maybe here. 40. I still think this is a good profit target. Trying to see if we get any help with this at all. I mean, really on this one, we got to get this ISM services number out of the way. I mean, in 12 minutes, if it can pop up to there, sure, it's a decent short. Um, the reality is, you would have been in at 7:30 this morning, right? There's your base. There's your confirmation in the overnight at 3. Right? It would have been a 7:30 trade. Mm, hmm. I think that's the way to play this one right now. I guess if we just rally up right now, if the ISM services number is nothing, like if it comes in exactly as expected and this one ticks back up again, there could be a case made that you take a short out of this one. I mean, it's only 7 pips, so it's rather small. You may say, typically we take it as a negative. Yeah, nobody cares about the 0.25 today. That's factored in. It's the if they mention doing another 0.25 again, or if there's any hawkish statement whatsoever, that's what would lead this straight to the downside. And again, the reason why is because with the interest rate rise, it does hurt gold, which also hurts the Aussie. So it is more set up for that. So again, a push up. I think there could be a potential short here, right? 66.69 or 66.70 if you really just want to make it, more of a round number. Um, Again, and that's just for news, right? But we got to make it through ISM services first. It's not up there right now, so it's not close enough. Unless we get a magical spike up, again, there could be a nice little short out of that one. But overall, I think we look for 66 for 32. As far as reversals go, I would say, again, here's a 23, right? Or not a 23. Was it a 23? It was 50. We had a 50 level coming in here somewhere. Anyway, I think we look for reversals. I think again, if we do get dollar strength, the pop down to this one, it's 40 to here, 57 or like 60 pips right here to this level right here. The daily ATR is 69, so it's already started to push down just a little bit. But I mean, we're about halfway through the push this morning. From here, we've pushed down, so that puts us at over a daily ATR down. Again, I think again, any hawkish comments, this thing it takes off. Can we get all the way back down to the 66 range? Probably. It's only 60 pips if they say 2525. They're not doing a point 0.5 today, but if they do 2525, or mention the second 25, I think this one pushes back down. Yeah, ideally we're sitting there, but again, ISM definitely could kind of mess with this one. Also, yen. So Aussie yen, we hit our profit target yesterday, right around that 10 o'clock, 10:30 time frame, and it's just continued to deteriorate down. We said there wasn't a whole lot in here, and this is again we mentioned being really really high in the curve, looking for reversals, and once it came in, it's pushed back. So you can see right now we are flirting around the 50 right now. There is a level. Whoops. There is a level of basing right in here, right? Um, is it the best of reversal levels? Not really. I mean, it's okay. We're kind of extended. We knew that the yen was going to be high, and again, maybe we'll hear news in a couple days that there was a minor, intervention that they're like reporting after the fact. Um, it's all right. You know, um, does ISM affect this one? A little bit as a proxy, but with FOMC hanging in the balance, I don't know that it's enough right now to really do much with it. Again, I still like the yen right now, but again, FOMC is going to screw that one up too. So it makes sense where we are. I would say this level here at the 50 and the one at the 50, the 61.8, both are decent levels on obviously highly important fib levels. Neither of them are like grade A demand zones where it's like, yeah, these are the ones you don't miss. I think they're both decent. If they pop off of that, would not be surprised. But right now, there's not enough basing, not enough strong movement on this one to really do anything. Again, minus this reversal, which once we had this in here, we knew we talked about kind of reversing this one back down. So yeah, it's all right. Um, not no real trade setup on this one. Like I said, if we pop off this with the yen, maybe it helps us a little bit, but nothing too spectacular. Oops, did I just move that? I did. There we go. All right, so euro dollar. We are rallying back up, and you can see we've kind of had like a fair to go higher in. Here, I'll just take this one and drag it across. You can see we've already been here in the past, right? We've been here before. It's tagged it here, tagged it here, tagged the same level here before. Once it pushed down, it is a 61.8 level. So again, we do know that there is the potential for something in here. We kind of at this point have a basing level right there. Again, would ISM services be a good trade today if FOMC was not, pretty much guaranteed to, you know, trade this one? Yeah, yeah. Is it set for short? Yeah, it could be. But again, I don't think the influence today is going to be as high. Could you take a short from here? Yeah, it is a decent trade. There is some testing down here, and again, a little bit of confirmation in this 8 o'clock candle. So I think you need to be cautious of it. But we are 37 pips high right now. 110 is going to be a big target to kind of drag this one around. You can see yesterday morning, look at 10 o'clock, this one came and retraced back again. So remember we talked about lock-ins and profit in on that one. That's why, because it made it 2/3 of the way through with news, right? So let's pull that. Let's take this profit down to here. This I don't need. This one is chopped through efficiently. Let's take that off. This we can just bring it here. This over. Um, so yeah, overall, it is sitting kind of on the high side. It is in the top, 50%. Um, Still kind of no man's land, but it is set up for more of a short. So we'll see if ISM drops it down. If ISM helps actually pop this higher, I think that sets us up for more of a short for FOMC for later today. And again, maybe it uses this level right here. We obviously have this with a confirmation right there, right? There's your confirmation of it. So maybe this comes back into play, but a lot of it is going to depend. And actually, I'd probably increase that up to there. Maybe this comes into play. It's all going to depend what we get in the next 6 minutes. If it does its thing and then kind of rallies up, that's where we pull it. It's actually only going to here, but we would need a pop, and it would be here, right there, right. It would be a pop and then a drop right back down again. But there is a level sitting there, right? There is a level sitting there, right at 101.55. Okay, but do we take this news trade? I think you could, right? I think you could. Right? It's small. How much risk is it? What did I say? 7? 9. That's close. Your pound. All right. So this one came up and hit it, and then came up and started basing it. You're like, oh, it's not really going to hold well. And it went up and it went down, went up, pulled back down again. We're still in that same level. So don't really have much of a confirmation in there. Again, I think a good thing now we have we do have this level right here. So we can delete this one. We can delete this one as well. Okay. We do have the Harry Potter entry that we're looking for. And I think what'd you do? Stop hitting buttons. buttons again, didn't you? What'd you do? So a break of 88.13. I look for this one to come down. And again, if we get a base in, that's even better. But wait for the pullback. And again, profit target should be taken before that level right there. Okay. Euro yen con- continue to deteriorate. We do have kind of the again. We're looking for the Harry Potter no entry on this one, but it gave us more near term basing, so we can remove this so you guys can see it a little bit better. And again, basing. You could have used this level or the level up top, right? You could use this one here and say, "There's our base," right? So here is the way that this one looks right now. And again, you could use that one, or you could have used this one up here. It doesn't really, either one is fine. It doesn't really matter. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. And that's what this was. We were just looking for the base. You could have used this higher base up here, and then it would have triggered here or here. But I just used the bigger one just for purposes of, use it. So, truth feathers the way through. Not much we can do. I think, again, make sure you're out at this 48 number. There is another Harry Potter lower. So, if we do get more yen strength today, and we come down to base in the 148.77 level, there is another short here. And again, I'd like to see what it looks like. But overall, again, profit target would be taken approximately down here. So, I mean, you're talking about 60 something 65 pips on this one. And this would be kind of a yen proxy play. Okay. So, again, already into this one from yesterday. Got our base in the overnight and it is pushing down. Now, pound dollar. All right. So, pound dollar. We were looking for this at 125 yesterday. And we kind of had it twice, right? We got it here. We got it here. We're looking for it again. It came up and it started basing in that level and kind of put this one's weird. It came up and then it drove out again and then came up again. And that's where it finally pierced. And now it's just playing with that. So we're really looking to see what happens from here to here on this one. It did actually put a top in. Now, I don't really love this top. It is a 61. It did get some 61.8 help. I don't love that candle, but it was a top. It kind of came through, pushed down, and grabbed it. So there is actually a level up there. It's not really my favorite, but right now what I'm looking at is the European Open. Let's see, European Open is, I don't know why that one moved, but it's there to there. So that's what I'm looking at so far. You can see it's down. We'll see if we can get some dollar strength, maybe pushing this one down. But if we get the dollar weakness bringing it back up again, again, I think that could signify a nice little short. So, again, this one had a very strange entry, so we'll pull it. We can move that, and I think that's where we stand right now. And again, we're looking for right 1, 2. Again, typically the Harry Potters don't work the only other direction either. So pull that off. Yeah. So right now we're down. I want to see where it pushes itself in the next little bit. So, particularly because seeing this, right? And again, now it's starting. We're seeing pound strength roll back in again, right? We're seeing pound strength roll back in. Although, yeah. So we're seeing pound strength roll across the board right now. So with the pound strength coming up higher and dollar weakness, that could lead to the kind of reversal for us. So this one's lining up as well. I kind of like that one right now. It's my favorite as far as the news trades. Pound yen, we talked about it continue to deteriorate. We're sitting in this level. It pulled up a little bit and then just continued. What do you stop? It just continued to deteriorate. We said 169.45. With this little area right here, we're waiting for this to be the kind of profit target to watch out for. Was right here, right? And if you see where we're at right now, we're sitting right in that little profit area. We said take your profit, don't mess with the 50. Where it is right now, I think we still look again. It is a 78, so I don't love it, but I do like how it's based. If this is now the true bottom, the 71.50 is a decent trade level. There is a lot here at 170.25. It's a base and it popped and went. I feel like it just hit too many times, though. I do think that if we can get this, if we can break through, there is enough room here that we can get a long position out of this one. 3 is only sitting right there. So I think that's a decent trade. I know this is the 50 and the 61, but there's nothing there. If we can get some strong pound news, I think this one takes off of the top side. Just because, again, we had the original kind of zone was here. Hit it, hit it, hit it. We should be able to break through the top side of that one. So this is looking like There. And again, it doesn't matter. If the price comes all the way down to here, this is still good based off of what we saw here with the basing and the room that it has. The only difference is if it does come all the way down here, now the 50 and the 61 are out of the range, and it becomes an even better trade. So if we get a spike down to like say the 60 level here, guess what? Now you've taken these two things out, and I don't really care about the 78.6. So it only helps us the farther it drops to the downside. That's one you can keep on your radar if you wanted to throw an alert on it. I think that's a pretty decent. I think that's a pretty decent Harry Potter trade to the top side. Supposed to be free. I don't know why it turned white. No idea. So yeah. But yeah, I'd like to see this come lower, and just know though there is something at the 50, and there's a little zone here at the 61.8. So there's two potential pop levels. If it pops here, I'm good with that one. I'd love to see this get pound strength rolling into that FOMC, just so we can take, if it gets its pound dollar short, so I'm good with the profit taking now. Dollar CAD. We talked about 136.40. We actually just did hit 136.40 just a second ago. Well, not a second ago. What at 8:30. So profit target is out. We knew that was there. We know that it's a 78. I mentioned it yesterday. Use it as a profit target. It's sitting right there. That's where we're hitting off of. Would I use this one for news? It's okay. Let's see. What was the news? Let's see. Yeah. So no difference. It came in exactly as expected, like a pinch higher, but no color because it's considered the same. What are you doing? Okay, you can play with that. There we go. Wow, it's called the bipartisan restoring faith. They got to put that in there instead of just automatically working together, right? Instead of just saying the Restoring Faith in Government Act, they got to call it the bipartisan one, right? Look at that. We do know how to work together on one out of 100 things. Was interested in reference from across the spectrum, including AOC, Matt Gaetz, Brian Fitzgerald. Yeah, so it looks like it's a lot of the younger guys, right? Political adversaries, yeah, and Gaetz working together on a piece of legislation was notable. Oh my God, you mean it's notable that they work together? Wow. But yeah, it's the younger people. It's not the ones that actually have stocks. So, but again, good for them. It should have been done a long, long time ago. So good for them. Love that one. I love that they had to put bipartisan name though. So anyway, great. That's not going to change the trajectory around too much. So again, we are at an area where we are thinking that it is more of a short here. It does have a little bit more room to run, and again, this one is you know, we talk about proxies. We talk about proxies on things. Obviously, oil has the CAD proxy. Where we're at now with this one. Um, Again, raising interest rates puts us more at a chance of recession, but at the same time, recession also weakens oil a little bit, which weakens CAD. So kind of a hard one to play. I would say, yeah, probably a bit more bearish thinking. And maybe if we are sitting here, you could take it. We do have a red, we have a green that's not as high, so we get the red closer. We could go, but again, buyers coming in at 136.15, and then again, look, this is a kind of a tested level at 136. So Eh, if this one pulls back down, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. If we were sitting up top, I would like it more for a short. Um, but I really feel like 0.25 is there. I think we'll have the ability to kind of, again, we've hit this level twice. If we can punch it one more time, I think we can go higher and, you know, could move there. But again, this is a weird one because I believe it deserves to go higher. I do think it has a higher chance of recession. So again, that may also hurt oil and then weaken the cat even more, which may help it pop. So, it's kind of a weird one, and that's why it's at 0.04. It's the small. Actually, I guess Aussie is 0.01, but you can see it's very very kind of flat right now with what we're seeing. Swiss. So again, the Swiss. We talked about the two profit targets yesterday. Um, we tagged the second one at about 11 o'clock. So they're both out. Profit target one, profit target two. We talked about this one setting up for news yesterday, and you can see it's out. We'll take this one off. We never even pulled back to this level. We based on here. We did pull back a little bit. We had another little Harry Potter trade, but unfortunately went all the way past profit target, came up and grabbed it, and then went down a second time. So we had talked about a breakthrough, and it came through. It just went all the way past the profit target on the other side. So right now, we're playing with the same level down here. This is that old level that we had mentioned before. We hit it once already. Sitting down here at the 88.68. Let's see. Are we going to get any help on this one? I think it's important. important to note, if I come down, you can see that the 50 is sitting next to a level, a nice strong drop, a nice level of basing right there, right around the 50, and then a pretty decent acceleration. So that's a level to watch out for, right? 88.27. Um, Honestly, I'd like to see this one drop a little bit down. I think that would be pretty decent. If we can get down to this level to take a pop out of the top side, um, I mean, I guess they could say 0.25 and then we're going to pause and that's it. But if that happens, I think gold and silver go through the roof. And I think this one will continue to drop. But for the most part, for me right now, because it is tanking so much, people are waiting for that dollar strength to come in. And again, the market has not believed that 0.25 is possible. But the data is justifying it, especially with the JP Morgan taking things over. Again, a lot of banking crisis stuff is done. I think we've removed a lot of the things. It's just housing, but people don't necessarily care about housing as much as far as the economy goes. So, dollar yen. There's a Harry Potter from yesterday, right? So this one triggered. Let's see, 11:30. The alert went off right after we got out of chart school, and there would have been your entry. If you didn't like that one because it wasn't enough basing, you would have got another entry at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It did not break. It continued to push all the way down, and it did kind of what it was supposed to do. It found those buyers right in here, and then continued to push lower. So this one is easy 11 for 36. Had you been in chart school yesterday, you caught that one. Now, I thought we would actually get more of a hiccup here at 50, and you can see it hit it, based in, peaked at the bottom, came back up and grabbed more sellers and pushed lower. Overall, 135 is in close proximity, and that's what we expected. Monday, we said 135 was back on the radar. We're pretty close, right? Um, can we hit it today? Sure, absolutely. I mean, right now we're only sitting 30 pips away. The 4-hour ATR is 50, so we're well within range. We can get back down to this level. And again, this is an old level here. We never really used it, but it just happens to mark off the 35 and the 61.8. Right now, there's not really much. There is a little bit here. I'll pull this one back. There is a little bit of a zone sitting right here. One sec. Hold on one sec, guys. So yeah, so we got the small level right over here. Not a big deal. He's like talking to me about girls teams. I'm like, I don't mess with the girls team. Oh, sorry, buds. Sorry, my bad. My bad. All right, there we go. All right, all right, all right. So I think that's the smallest level there. If we get basing in there, maybe we come down and we base in here. There was a big push back up down to the 133 level. I think 133 is a little bit overextended. Again, I called for the intervention earlier in the week. We have seen it roll back again since that Monday, really kind of that Tuesday pop. It's 260 pips down at this point. Uh, it's kind of hard. Like I said, can we get down to the 33? I think we can, but that's a pretty extended move. I really like it around 135 ish. I think this is where it currently belongs. Could we get a pop up today? Sure, absolutely. Again, with a 2525, we should get a pop in there. Can it go all the way back up? Is it going 500 pips or 300 pips back up to the 138? I mean, I guess it can, right? But understand the daily ATR is 137. So if we go from where this 135, here is 2 days worth of movement. Can it move that? Sure, sure, but that would be a heck of a surprise, right? That would be a monstrous surprise. That's like saying we're gonna go 0.25 today, and we're gonna do 0.25 to 0.25 and then stop, right? Like that's some big move. And would this be the trade you wanted to trade it with? No, you'd be taking that pound dollar short. That's the one that would be the trade for this one. So, or even the dollar Swiss, right? Dollar yen, again, because of the proxy, I think it's a little bit more risky. But right now, I do really like it down at 135. I like that it's pushed down. Couldn't we do a pop? Sure, I think we can. Um, but I don't like currently like anything on here as much as I like that Harry Potter trade. And again, there's your alert from yesterday. You can see that it triggered right there, crossing at which one did it cross? It was that one. Yeah, May 2nd. Yeah, 10:36 actually. So right after we got off is when that one triggered. And then again, if you didn't take that one because it wasn't enough time, it came in at 2 o'clock. Um, so yeah, I like the 135. Can it come down here? I guess it could. But if anything, I think it goes and it pops to the top side. You can see cryptos kind of taking it on the chops, back down at the 28. TLT having a nice little rally up today, and I wonder if that's in preparation for the interest rate rise. Again, as one rises, the other one falls, kind of preparing, right, for a nice little pop. Talk about crude. Here's our target from yesterday. It teased us, teased us, teased us, teased us, and then 3 o'clock this morning, it finally broke through. So we're at 69 flat, baby. We had a level here. That one is broken. Let's take that one out. The next tested level is all the way down here at 67. How cool would that be? Sorry, Exxon, Chevron, BP. I don't care. Your profits are allowed to be deteriorated in my eyes. I'm okay with that. I bought a vehicle that gets 12 miles per gallon, so I'm good. Get it low. But right now, if you look to see to the left, what do we have here? There's not really a lot. I mean, there's a little gap here, and there's a little bit of a hiccup coming in at 68, 43. Right now, all eyes are going to be on FOMC, so this is not as important. But again, that Chinese demand level is there. I do think the one thing we do have to watch out for here is, again, ideally, the Fed does not want to throw the country into recession and cause major, major problems. They originally said that they were going to have to get the unemployment rate up to 4.6 for the inflation to finally be controlled. We're not there yet. The data is going slow, but we don't want it to take 3 years of increased inflation. That's not the goal. Is to get it down quick. At a stage that doesn't destroy us, but at the same time not last 3 years because that hurts the population disproportionately. So if they do 2525, I believe that's kind of a hey, we're gonna put more pressure to send this thing into a recession. We're already seeing layoffs. Um, yeah, we're gonna send it more. I feel like that is a negative, kind of a negative tone. Now, whether everybody is just going to be looking at currencies today, so they're going to look at commodities, I think this one has the ability to go lower. But we're at 69. Next target down to the downside is 67.26. Natural gas, kind of the same story. Now, we drew this 50%. You can see kind of based and touched here. I will say that this was the Harry Potter trade entry. So we had talked about it. And again, once it started to chop through and broke through, this is unfortunately not the entry. It came straight back up. And again, a little bit of a pop here, rally back up. This trade is out, so there's not much we can do right now. Right there and right there. And your 1 to 3 is there. So it's already out. We talked about 212 being the target. Yeah, buds. Get there for the day. I hit it or not? Did we hit it? Oh, I think it did. We did. All right. So my target got hit. I called 212 yesterday. Looks like we hit 212. Right. I kind of like when I wish I could change this around. I probably can. I don't play with this enough. Like how like currencies are like maybe it's not going to do it now. No, it's not going to do it now. It's probably hmm. It used to tell you with like I don't care about the news part of it. There we go. There's my price range for the day. Yep. So it did hit 212. I like the price range on here. So yeah, I called 212 yesterday. We just hit 212 just a few seconds ago, or within the last 15 minutes. So all aboard. Love that one. I think this needs to come lower. I need to fill up the tank again. The tank is low. Actually, the tank is empty. Need to fill the tank, but we haven't turned the heat on. So I'm like, you know what? We can use the barbecue grill for a week. So yeah, I need to do this. So this one can come all the way down to 2 in the next couple days. I'll be okay with that. And if you look at this one, yeah, we got a little bit of buyers in here, but after that, look what we have going down to the 2 level. Nothing. Nothing. So we could potentially get all the way over to 2. So I love where that one is. I think that one's good. Again, love these two energies straight to the floor. Keep going. Now gold. We talked about gold was up, and now it's actually in the red a little bit, right? Just a little bit. We are peaked very, very high. Yesterday we talked about getting this a spike, and we just kind of held and maintained. Um, we do have this level sitting right here, right? Um, Gold is poised high. Again, we talk about being on the top of a cliff. At this point, I mean, could this go long? As I said, if they say 2.5 and that's it, we're pausing. I think this thing takes off. It'll be a parabolic move up. I think eventually it will pull back down again. I think that creates a great shorting opportunity. Do you want to take it ahead of time? I think the problem with this one is going to be, I think the expectation, and again, this is one of those ones that if you understand the options market, I wish I could trade options. Again, I can't because Melissa's job. Um, Again, senators can trade stocks and then vote on policy, right? But I can't trade options because my wife works for an advisory firm. It's yeah, it sucks. I think again the volatility will be higher, but in the options market, it'll probably be hidden a little bit more, and it'll protect you more from some type of a gap risk. Again, if you can get into gold options, depending on if you're going to do it ETFs or whatever it is, again, taking some shorts out of here, I don't think are bad ideas. Again, you could probably get some a little bit farther out of the money pretty cheap. I do like this to the downside. I don't think it has any business being over here. I really don't think the Fed is going to pause, but again, you never know with Powell. Maybe he'll be like, yeah, we'll pause once and then we'll start it back up again. Australia is doing it, so we can do it too. But I think that jacks gold through the roof, and I think that actually will increase inflation. We're already seeing numbers that are starting to creep up again, so we haven't had an effect. So I think the 0.25. I think we need 2.525 and then kind of see what the data is looking like next time to see whether we'll continue that. But I think they need to telegraph it. I really think this is a short trade today. Um, I think ultimately, I think if you look at this entire level right in here, I think this is where we're probably like, if they say they're going to raise twice, I think this is probably where we pull back into the 1980 again, the jelly bracelets and big bangs, right? Anybody young is like, what the heck's a jelly bracelet and big bangs? Anybody older will know exactly what I'm talking about. I think we're pulling back into that range, right? Um, the ET Star Wars jelly bracelet range. Okay, it's gonna be my technical term. Now, silver. Silver looks exactly the same. You can see this one did have tops put in yesterday. Again, ugly tops, and we keep hitting it. This one also has the same push. So yesterday we talked about, hey, listen, if we can break through that 25 number, it's a long. There's nothing slowing this one down. And you can see at 10:30 it did, 11 it kept going, and finally at 1 o'clock it hit that kind of reversal level at 61. Ugly reversal, but we talked about breaking through 25. Nothing slowing it down, and it did. At this point, now you got to reverse that around and say, well, wait a second, this was a huge racetrack yesterday. There's nothing till right about there. Look for this to turn. Look for this to flip, right? So yeah, I like this one short. Again, it's the same thing as gold. If they say we're pausing, this is going up to 26, right? We're coming all the way to 26. If they say double double, 25 25, right? Double double animal style, we're taking this all the way back down to the 24.55 range. Again, could we go lower potentially? But I think I think we probably this one pulls back down. Parabolic move up, base running in. So I think pause. We go here. I think two here is what we're looking at. I think those are the two things. Can it hold and maintain? I don't know. Everybody's so worried about what's going to happen next. Um, yeah, I think this one. I think this one is bound to spike. I think all the speculators that are in here, I think they're looking at this one. So I think silver is going to be the most volatile of all the things today. Looking at the indices, and again, it doesn't really matter. We had, this ISM number. Again, one right before the open, one right after the open. It's kind of chaos. Everything is technically in the green, but just barely. YM is at 0.05. So, I mean, we'll look at this real quick. I doubt there's much in there. Again, it was an uptrend. There was actually a 9 o'clock. The 9:30, I don't know if it grabbed it or not. As far as testing levels go, I would say that there is probably the level. Again, you could have used this and said, there's your test, right? Just want to make sure we box this correctly. There would have been your test. If you wanted to go just a little bit higher to grab this and this test, you could have done it. It doesn't matter. If you go just to the top of here, this one still hit, right? But there would have been the double. Looks like 9. Again, this would have been a little bit early, but close enough to opening print on this one. Again, it was a tested level, and price did drive into there with the news release. Problem is the second news release. So, I'm gonna say that this is a yes. It's not quite an opening print, but again, with the news at 8:15 not being its normal time, this one almost kind of played reversal. Just wanted to, for some reason I can't get that on the bottom. It just won't go on the bottom. Anyway, 1 to 3 is only there's 1 to 3.07. So you can see it went well past. So absolutely an entry that you could have had at the open. Again, with the 8:15 news instead of 8:30, everything gets bumped back a little bit. So this would have tagged at 9, not the 9:15. So it's there, right? I'd be very cautious of this one with the interest rate rise. I do think this one has again pause up, no pause, straight back down into this level at 4:15. Okay, NQ. Yeah, you happy? Okay, this was a 9:30. So let's see. Yeah, you have to use this zone right here. It's a little bit deep, right? It's a little bit deep. Again, there's your confirmation on it. Unfortunately, there is the one all the way down here, but then you got to look at this and say, okay, was anything in? And I would say that that's the next pop. So the question is, did you take the whole thing or not? It's there. You're positive in it. It did tag it at 9:30. I think the risk is a little bit deep in this one, but you had to respect that off that level. 2.8 is there. 3. If you had that whole level, that's where 3 is. But like I said, I think shortening this one to this level here, because this is a mirrored bottom, I think shortening it to there would have been the right call. Right there's your confirmation off of this level. I would say that this is actually the level lower. So for me, this is what this one looks like. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. Okay. That makes the most sense. YM. Oof. YM was the only one that was red, and this was pretty ugly. More of a downtrend in the overnight. You could have said there was a base right there, right? And you could have said there's your confirmation. This one, although that's a base, it's hit it so many times. It hit it again and dropped, hit it again, hit it again. I'm not going to say this is an entry. It just spent too much time. It was confirmed, but 3-4 touches confirmed is not for me. Again, it was negative. I think this one, again, gets there pretty close as well. And again, we missed the Harry Potter here yesterday. 10:30, it just went all the way through. We called it short. It just went way too low. And again, look at the basing on this one. Let's see what we got. Are we sitting at a level right now? That would be interesting if we were. No, we're not. We are not. Let's pull that. Pot top side for pops right there. Change this to yellow. The way the YM looks, it looks like it really wants to just drop. But again, we won't have Harry Potter. This one's going to spike up. I would say your spikes are probably going there or there. There, or where are spikes? Right? Yeah, either of them are fine. Yeah, ugly. See, was Russell anything at the open? Nah, he didn't pull back. It's a shame because Russell had this area of basing right here, and kind of a little. If this would have pulled back here at that 9-9-15, that would have been a nice little trade setup, right? Unfortunately, though, it did not. It did not get back. Right? It did not get back. But nice pop. Um, I think this Russell is really risky right now. We're up here in this zone, the 61.8 at news time. And again, it is rallying right now. It probably will need to slow down a little bit. I don't think that's a horrible base trade. Because again, we come up, they say 25-25. This goes straight down. Again, remember, Russell is going to be the one that is exposed most to the second interest rate rise. So it is rallying right now, like everybody knows what's going on. I don't know. Maybe it's rallying right now because the bipartisan, Restoring Confidence Act What did they call it? Restoring Faith in Government Act. Yeah, because that I'm gonna get all my faith back because senators can't inside trade. Yeah, that was it. That's the only reason I lost confidence in the governance because yeah, because the insider trading that has been allowed for the entire Nancy Pelosi era. Yeah. But yeah, I think this one is most at risk for a turn and reversal. Probably this 1766 range. Yeah, yeah. So, all right, that's it for today. Let's see. Vic's doing anything? Nah. Again, dollars continue into weekend. Man, the market is really. It's funny. It's great data, but it's continuing to drive lower. Right? They are really loading this one up. And again, is it because the market believes that they can't do 0.25, 0.25? I really feel like it is. I really feel like it is. You know, the market has just been so negative that, oh my God, they're not going to raise interest rates. They're going to cut interest rates by 0.75 this year. It's like, we're halfway through. You think they're going to do that? Yeah, right. That's an inflation through the roof right now. My gas is just getting back. My gas is at, what was it, 330 yesterday? And now that it's down another couple bucks, that sucker better get down to 310. I'll be filling that tank up and not spending $100. Yeah. Will, is Will here? Yeah, Will's on. Will, what's diesel down there you now? We have so few places that still sell diesel. Like, they don't even, the price is so much more. Like, I haven't put the boat in the water, but a lot of people in the area are putting boats in the water now. I was wondering how bad. I mean, again, obviously diesel in the water is not great, but what's your diesel at right now? I don't have to worry about that, but yeah, they don't even post it anymore. It's like diesel. Yeah, we're just gonna take that off the board, guys. We're just gonna show you the cash price, the credit card price, and then the middle grade, and if you're lucky, premium diesel. Nah, we're not gonna show you that one. They took it off all the boards in Maryland. It's kind of funny. So anyway, as Will's getting that information in, let's see. Let's go ahead and do our drawing. Oh, we've got 6 in today. Got our lemonade critic in. All right, let's see. Somebody has read the ebook. We'll see if it works today. All right, let's close this sucker down. Winner of today's drawing is. Oh, she played the ebook correctly. She played it correctly, right? Mark that as complete. Go back to giveaways. Debbie, is that 3? No, that's right. It was Marina, Debbie, and Debbie. Uh-oh, Neuro. Uh-oh. You tell them, Kipster. Say, uh-oh. Yeah, say, uh-oh. Yeah, exactly. Debbie has figured it out. She didn't go in real big, but she went in more than normal. She went in okay, signal track. Yeah, I don't know. We win. I know, but she's figured it out, Neuro. I feel like she is now. Look at this. Look at the rallyiness. This was 200 pips when we started. Well, I guess it's not 200. Yeah, it was down 200 pips, but what's happening is, right, it's pushing back down. So it was playing the time game, right? But look at the bottom that's put in there. Look at the bottom. CAD holding. Look, it's starting to hold. They're all lining up. They're all starting to slow down and hold. Oh, this one did pop. Was it going to grab that one? Could be. Could be. Again, yeah, this is unfortunately 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this one is out. Pull that. Back to 68. Pips. That it's starting to line up. They're all starting to get in position. I mean, again, on a purely technical basis, they're all lining up for dollar strength right now. They're all lining up for dollar strength. Again, with this huge push down in price, right? Base, touch, take off, boom. It's gonna get fun. I really feel like Russell's gonna get nuked. I really feel like this Russell one could be the big mover of the day. We either hit 1800 because they're gonna pause, or they're gonna say they're gonna raise again, and it's gonna drop all the way back down. So, woof. She went in smart. I know. She only did, yeah, but she only went little in, right? Right, Neuro? I believe your ebook says 5, right? Not 3, but she went in for 3 and took it. So it means she has more room tomorrow to go big. So, all right. With that said, 10:30. I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Like I said, protect yourself. Options are going to be quite expensive this afternoon with everything. But you may be able to find like a hidden gem here or there. Again, I wish I could trade options. This would be an awesome day to be trading options, but it drives me nuts that I can't. But every firm has different regulations, and yeah, this firm is like no, no. So wah wah wah. Yeah. All right. Good luck, everybody. And again, don't forget, after we have the U.S. news today, don't forget tomorrow morning, 8:15, right? Not normal hours, right? Not vampire hours, normal hours. We have this. Okay. And I do think this will be a 375, but I do think that they will say that they are going to pause and see how it goes or give nothing. I do actually think that this is a European week based trade. Even though it's going up, I think the market positions itself, and I think this is a weak trade. So that's what I'm looking for. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. We'll see after all the explosions happen today, this afternoon, and then tomorrow we'll go in and see what we got. Good trading, everybody, today. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.